Hi, I'm Shalane from TSC Tuition, and today I'll be talking about how to revise for your literature exam. It is term 4. The exam is, oh my goodness, so close. It's breathing down on our necks. So what are you going to do, right, to make the most of your time between now and the exam date? My suggestion for literature students, first of all, is quotes for your text. This is the same advice that I give also to those doing VCE English and EAL, but for literature, it is so much more important that you have a great bank of quotes for yourself going into the exam. It is vital to your success if you want to do well in the exam, which I'm assuming you want to do well in. It is very, very important because you are expected to engage closely with the text. Whatever text you're doing, whichever exam essay prompt you end up choosing, it is so important. You need to know your stuff. You need to prove that you know this text backwards, inside out, upside down, right? So, and the easiest way to do that is to have great quotes that are going to do exactly what you need it to do. My second piece of advice is to practice your close analysis. In your chosen text, make sure that you do heaps and heaps and heaps of practice with close analysis. Get someone to just pick a page out of the text, right? And you use that page as your close analysis piece of text. It is not enough to assume that the examiners will choose like a well-known bit or the climax or like a super important part of the text. It's not enough to just assume that because they're not going to choose that. They're not going to make it that easy for you. So you need to prepare for the worst. That is the crux of planning and revision, right? We are planning for the worst. So get someone to, or you pick a page, a random page, right? And write that close analysis on that random page. It could be nothing that happens in that. It could be, just the end of a chapter. It could be sort of a random paragraph that sort of doesn't really say anything in the middle of a chapter. It doesn't matter. You need to practice. How can I make the most out of this passage that I've got here, right? I know you get to choose 2 out of the 3. It is not enough to just rely on pure luck, right? Success in exams is not about luck. It's about preparation. So make sure you prepare yourself going into that exam. And lastly, for literature students, and this is quite literature specific, I would suggest students work on their vocabulary. The number of students I've worked with, or that we've worked with, have really great vocabulary to start with, but their eagerness to show off the vocabulary gets in the way of the clarity of what they are saying. If your examiner has to read your sentence twice or 3 times in order to get what you are saying, because you've put so many very impressive words in there, you've lost the point, right, of great writing. Great writing is not about showing off the words you know. Great writing is about clear communication and effective and efficient communication. I would suggest practice writing and then giving that to someone who is, fairly literate and a very good reader, and asking them, does this make sense to you? Is it hard to read? Do you get what I'm saying? And if they say no, be prepared to then go through your work and pull out words as necessary. Quite often what I see students doing is they will add an adjective in front of every noun and an adverb in front of every verb, and they'll use these very convoluted sentence structures. But in terms of clarity, it's really lacking, right? The ideas are great, the grammar is maybe, the vocabulary is great, right? But the clarity is not there. It doesn't matter if you're using words accurately if you're not using them effectively, right? So I would suggest, just as I suggest to English and EAL students, that they get someone to read over their work and then edit their practice pieces, that literature students do the same in their super sophisticated sentences and showing that to someone else and saying, does this make sense? Is it hard to read? Do you have to read that twice to get what I'm saying? Because if they have to read it twice, that there's something going on there, right? That's not quite effective. There's something going on there that is obscuring the clarity of your message. So we need to go back in there and craft it so that it is really clear what you're saying. There's no ambiguity, there's no confusion, and that each and every word really does need to be there, and it is there for maximum effect. So I hope that was helpful. As always, like and subscribe to our social media channels if you'd like to see more of our stuff on your social media channels. We also have a newsletter for parents and tutors who are looking for advice on how to support their teens in their English studies. So make sure you subscribe to that if you'd like to see it pop up in your email inbox. And lastly, if you'd like to get some one-to-one online sessions with our tutors, please contact us and let's see how we can support you. Thanks for watching.